Hold on, everybody. Technical difficulties. I'm sorry for the people on X right now because they're like, "Oh, what's going on?" Because I think you guys are the only ones that can see me right now. Mm. Yeah, because I don't know how to get myself back up on the YouTubes. YouTube, what are you doing? Oh, okay. Yeah, because I don't know how to get myself back up. There we go. Okay. That's fucking annoying. All right. Well, I guess people are gonna have to watch two videos. Yes. Okay. At least we're back up and running. Damn. I lost all the chats. Mm. Oh well. What were we talking about? Oh, you were talking about Harris. Oh wait, no, I think that was the end of the chat at least. Okay, yeah. Hopefully we're good. So, all right. Nope. Okay. All right, let's move on then. So when Moas, actually, I want to show you guys something because I think it's very interesting. Because again, I've been trying to figure out what the fractal looks like, what the big picture looks like, and obviously there have been a lot of attempts. So take this with a grain of salt right now. It's just another attempt. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm not even, I don't know how sure I am right now. So so this is Unity stock, which, I mean, I think Warren Kitty is in this play. There's a lot of tinfoil that leads to you, but I think that the algorithm works across a whole bunch of stocks across the market. But this looks like what the algorithm might be. There is a big, like the big picture when we're talking about like what this what the whole thing will look like. So big pump right here, big pump right here. We've had two so far. Now, I think big pump first one and then slow down. Big pump first one, slow down. Big pump second one, big pump, and then second one, slow down. And then when it comes back down though, this part is higher than this part. So basically, the the phase one is the initial pump and the biggest and slowest dump. And then we have phase two, where you get a lower high, lower than this, and then a higher low. Don't pay attention to this. Pay attention to this. Don't look at this. Look at this. Um, where this this was that low, and then this is a higher low right in there. And then boom, 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 boom. And then a third one, which follows this train right here. We haven't had this yet. We haven't had that yet. So if I'm correct, at some point, what the fuck is this? at some point there should be another giant pump that brings us up to here, this white line, much like right here. I am thinking that white line will be either in May, or something will happen in October of this year that will cause it. So it'll either be May, October, or December of this year. I think that is probably the next time where we will get the white line touch. Oh, I guess let me check in with the chat again. Okay. People are back, I guess. Not everybody's back, I'm sorry. Evan, I sold 21 call for February 20th on whatever day it was, like on Tuesday, right before the big pump, because somebody had sold like $1 million in covered calls that day, and I was like, okay, he probably knows something, so I joined him on that. Yeah, obviously right now they are in the money, but not by much more than what I paid them, or what I got paid for them. So eventually over time, by the time that they reach expiry in February, I should have made a profit by then. I'm hoping, as long as we stay in the box this whole time. But for the fractal, I'm looking for us to meet this white line at some point. And then once that's going to be phase 3 beginning. And then phase 3 is going to be much tighter and shorter. And then it's going to hit that white line one more time for phase 4. And then after that, we'll go a new like iteration. This is just currently what I'm guessing or theorizing to be what the bigger shape of the algorithm looks like, where it's just gonna triangle in on itself before it finally goes pew. Yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you guys because I do think it's going to be important and helpful. But going along with that theory, basically I'm thinking phase 1 was May 24 to either May or October of this year. And then whenever the next time we hit that white line, all the way to May of next year, that's going to be the new level, the new like level up. And then after that, I think MOAS should be October of 27. So we still have a year and 10 months on that. And so in my opinion, we gotta really buckle up, because it's going to be a while. And I know for a lot of people that's going to be demoralizing to hear. But for me, that means that we have a much better shot at playing this correctly and learning how it really goes. This entire time I've been trying to figure out the puzzle, and to the degree that I'm at right now, this is what I think the puzzle is, like the key to the puzzle. So we'll see if I'm right. Obviously I hope I'm wrong and we fucking MOAS this year, because if we start to get like the actual ice cream stuff and Teddy and all of that stuff, then yeah, my theory goes out the window and we'll probably MOAS sooner than I think. But we'll see. We'll see. Obviously, we'll wait for updates. But moving on, we'll go into ice cream and then Cohen's award package. Obviously, this tweet was deleted. One thing I want to mention was the 6:13 p.m., which this year it falls on a Saturday. But then also this was posted on December 7th. So if you switch that around, that becomes July 12th. One day after 7-Eleven. And for those of you who have listened to my streams before, 7-Eleven is a very important tinfoil date. Um, yeah, so just something to pay attention to. I don't know if it means anything yet. And obviously he deleted this, so yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But oh yeah, I did mention the ice cream is the price action for that day too. Um, I wanted to get into. So in the S3, let's just go to this right now. Oh, actually. This basically gives us the game plan for what Ryan Cohen's going to do with this company. These are going to be the different instruments that they're going to give out to us. I am still doing research on preferred stock to find out what exactly it is, but something tells me he's going to either give us some or offer it for us to buy, and I'm guessing it'll be this summer. But if not this summer, then I'm guessing next summer. I always guess that the stuff he's going to give out is going to happen in the summer. But obviously he gave us the warrants in the fall. So we'll have to wait and see. But basically, all of this will eventually go into the poison pill Teddy play. This is something that I'm still doing research into because it's very technical, legal, like, I don't know how to describe it. Plays that companies do to basically protect themselves. But this also comes into play when it's talking about like corporate takeovers and stuff like that. And this poison pill involves offering warrants to shareholders. And so I think that this warrant that we got already is phase one of the takeover poison pill. I highly recommend some of you guys to do more research on this and to post your findings, because I'm still doing research on it, and I haven't done enough where I'm comfortable like giving out what I found, other than just, oh hey, this exists and we should look into it. That's the extent of where I've gotten. But basically, I think that this will eventually go into the Teddy play, and it'll give us kind of a key into how that is actually going to come to fruition once it happens. I'm still a believer in Teddy. I'm still a believer in Bed Bath and Beyond and all of it coming together. I'm still a believer in Jamaica or Gamerica and all that stuff. So I think it'll be interesting once it does come together. But yeah, preferred stock, that's going to come into play as well. And I have a feeling, I don't know, if I were him, I would just announce all that stuff for the June annual meeting. So we'll have to wait and see. But this is a really good post that I saw on Superstonk, and it's basically about options and playing them. So I'm just going to read this for you guys. Options have always been the trigger, but the house still owns the casino. Oh, this post was in response to people saying that we need a gamma ramp, and the only way that we get a gamma ramp is with options. But then this guy had a really good response to that. Excuse me. Options have always been the trigger, but the house still owns the casino. That's the part that gets left out of these conversations. Yes, options are what actually force dealer hedging. Yes, gamma exposure and low liquidity matter. And yes, DFE said it himself, holding a loan didn't cause the squeeze, calls did. That's just market plumbing. But every call that expires worthless goes straight into the pockets of the seller. That's the cost of admission. Options are paying to play. And if the timing or conditions are off, you're just feeding the system. That doesn't make options evil, it makes them precise. They only work when the setup is right. Outside of that window, they're attacks on impatience. So the real question isn't whether options matter, they do. The real question is how individual investors learn not to pay too much to play. Education, understanding dealer positioning, respecting volatility, using time instead of fighting it, and knowing when not to pull the trigger. Shares are patience, options are pressure. Pressure only works when the system is already strained. Otherwise, the house keeps the chips. That's not fun, that's just reality. And I think that there's a lot of wisdom within this post. Um, and for, I would say, probably 95% of the people who are playing options, yeah, this probably does apply to them, myself in the past included. That's why I started playing covered calls. My Fidelity account, I've been using that as a safer covered calls account, where I have my shares, and I've been playing covered calls since mid-November. And I even bought covered calls right at the bottom at 1124, and I had to then figure out how to get out of that situation, so that I wouldn't have to basically get my shares called away. And that has been an interesting journey of trying to figure out how to finagle the Theta Gang game. Excuse me. And so in my last video, I talked about trying to figure out how to play the other side of the coin, the other side of calls, in order to understand how the big picture works. And for me, they've been really helpful. I'm at a point now where basically all of my calls that I've sold, if they were to get called away, I still would end up making a profit on the shares that I bought for my cost basis. And so basically the big thing to pay attention to is so break even is when the cost basis of your shares, for me on my Fidelity account, let's just use this as an example. My cost basis is $22.69, and right now I've sold $21 calls. So in order to do this math, basically I would need to collect at least $169 in premium in order to break even. Basically, because if my shares were to get called away at $21, I would add the premium that I've collected, which should be at a minimum $169, in order to make $22.69, or basically what ends up being $2,000, $2,269. That's the minimum that I should want to get for the whole transaction, if I was trying to break even. I'm at a point now where I've collected more than enough premium to have a profit now from my shares that I have been holding. And although it's a slow game, at the same time, it's been, I don't know, maybe like 9, 10, 11 weeks, something like that, since I started playing Theta Gang. And so now I'm in profit for those shares. My eventual goal is to just make this much in premium, and then once once March, April, or May come around and we hit the bottom of 17 and $18, my plan is to then use whatever premium I collected and just dump them all into shares. Basically, you get paid to hold. Um, because also I had bought or I had sold some covered calls like right around in here, and then as you guys see, the price went up for a little while, so I had to roll them out. But eventually I was back in profit again, because the main thing about covered calls that works in your favor is time. It is the opposite. Whereas buying a call, you're you have to time it correctly. When you're selling a call, you just have to wait until it's no longer like up in this mode. And then once it like comes down here or something like that, you can either buy it back to close it, or you can just roll it to a further out strike and get more money for it. And then you won't get called away. Because for the most part, unless you're within like a day or two of expiration, it's very unlikely that you'll get your shares called away, simply because whoever is on the other side that is exercising the option, they're probably not going to waste the theta that they have left over. Um, and so if you're getting close to your expiration date, just roll it out until a further date, and then eventually you'll make your money back. Um, Obviously there's a lot more nuance to it, and if you're interested, I highly suggest that you do your own research into this. But basically, uh, it for me it has been a worthwhile experience to learn. um, yeah uh, yeah, because I had fucking like 3 years of just holding shares and doing nothing with them, and I could have been making a good chunk of change since then. But I chose not to do it because I didn't, I was scared of getting my shares called away. But I'm at a point now where I'm comfortable with selling covered calls where I'm like, that's probably not going to happen. All I need to do is just roll the option. Now, granted, if you get caught at a really tight spot, like right here, yeah, it's gonna be tough for you to like, yeah, that's gonna be a tough situation to finagle. So as long as you're not here, then I think that it's still like workable. Um, but yeah, even right here, that probably would have been tough. But I don't know. I don't know. Play around with it, and do what works for your own uh, financial play. Don't let anybody tell you to do anything, and also don't be afraid to try new stuff. Yeah, but also, I'm not at fault for whatever you decide to do. This is entertainment only. uh, so Nightmare Zerathos says, do you think Keith Gill has this stuff figured out down to the day, week, or do you think he's only going off of larger, less definitive trends in stock movement? I think he does have it down to the day or week for the big movements. Um, but I think, okay, so something like right here where this is like a very, very big bottom, yeah, I think he had that figured out down to the day slash week. Something like here, yeah, also he had that down. Um, and then obviously his like true last like interactions with us where he was giving us like and like analysis type stuff was during his live stream, which was right there. So I don't know what he has been doing since then, but I'm very confident that he was able to play this movement up to here. And then I'm very confident that he knew that 1-7 was the top because of, excuse me, um, because of Reverse Roaring Kitty, or Mirror Kitty, however you want to call his name. Actually, let's pull that up again because it's just so fucking badass. Like, it blows my mind that he was able to get that down to the day. Don't look at this document, or at least, yeah, don't pay attention too much because this is for a future one. But Reverse Roaring Kitty posted this on 7-1, which if you reverse it, it will be 1-7. Burberry cologne. He leave the booth smelling like Burberry cologne. That was the lyrics from the Missy Elliott song. And then 1-7 ended up being the top. And then 7-1, reverse it, 1-7, the mic drop, which is exactly what happened there. And all of this Mirror Kitty stuff was posted in 2024, about 6 months before the top. So I don't know how the fuck he does it, but he's able to time it like down to the fucking day. There is a part of me that thinks that the date that he sold the options during this run, because he didn't sell it right at the top. He exited that position, I think, on Wednesday or Thursday, right around here. I don't know if he missed it on purpose or if he legitimately thought that the top was going to be the 16th. And I say that because the 16th ended up being T plus 35 from something. Yeah, it ended up being T plus 35, 36 from the earnings. So the FTDs from that date ended up corresponding to here. So I don't know if he was expecting the top to be here, and then this caught him by surprise, or if he did it for some other reason. I'm not sure. But I'm very confident that he has this algorithm down to definitely the week, for sure, the week. But the day exactly, sometimes. I think sometimes he knows the precise day. And then other times, I'm not sure. I'd have to hear it from his own mouth. Yeah. But I'd definitely be curious to see how he's been playing these last couple of months. Yeah. James Rhymes, what do you think of Larry posting more than usual? I don't know if Larry's been posting more than usual. I think Larry goes through these phases where he just posts a lot and then he steps back for a little bit and then he posts. Of all the tinfoil accounts, I think Larry is probably the least tinfoily, or one of the least. I don't know why, but I peg Larry as more of just like a straight shooter. Like he's just a philosopher. He's just putting out ideas into the world. I think his main audience isn't us, even though we're probably the ones that interact with him the most. I think his main audience is still business professionals and like CEOs and entrepreneurs and people who he is trying to work with in a business sense. I think that this community comes at him from like a fan perspective. I think we're fans of his. And so I don't think he's been posting more usual or less usual. I think he just goes through like natural phases where it just coincides with whatever's going on in his life and his ideas that he's going through. Not medical advice. I'm glad I'm live too. Thank you for joining. But with the Rorschach blot from today, let's pull that up, because I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know what to make of that. Because Larry doesn't usually post tinfoil. But that was very tinfoily. And he also he had his live stream yesterday, I believe, and for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, he had his live stream yesterday, and that went more or less like normally. Um, but this, what the fuck is this from? He doesn't post tinfoil or like what's the word? Like vague posting. I don't think he does that a lot, so it's just very interesting to see him post something like that. Let's see some of these. Oh, that's cute. Oh, that's cool. Oh, some I usually like to do as well is sort replies by likes. Oh, that's oh well. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And also yeah, yeah, yeah. Very interesting. This is from Crazy, from CeeLo Green. Boom, 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 boom. I remember when. I remember when I lost my mind. And then I fucking love this meme because we have the cone action again. But then let's get to the really good part. Yeah, yeah. Woo, woo, baby. Let's fucking go. Motherfucking chairman up in this bitch. Yeah. So so James Rhymes, to be honest with you, I have no clue. Larry's more of a straight shooter. I don't know how to interpret his tinfoil yet. I don't even know if this is tinfoil. So yeah, I don't know, man. Larry's a tough cookie. Oh yeah, we talked about Mirror Kitty already. Oops. Yep, not medical advice. We went over the 10-year expiration when the 13D dropped earlier in the stream, or rather the part one, I guess. Ford says, so we are screwed and this is going to take forever and we're not going to get a true MOAS. I disagree. I disagree. It is going to take forever. It's going to take a very long time. But like I said, there's going to be another one of these poppies sometime, I think, this year. And so that moment, if we can play it correctly, will set us up. This pop will not be, it will not be as big as here, but it should still bring us from like 17 bucks ish all the way to the 40s or 50s, which if you play those options correctly, that will be a big payday. That is a huge reason why I've spent so much time and effort trying to figure out these cycles, because one, it's good to know how this bigger wedge is closing, and it's going to be helpful moving forward because we're not going to get screwed, because at the end of the day, trying to time the stock market, that's supposed to be impossible. And I mean, for my own uh like internal clarity, I think this is probably the closest I've been to figuring out the puzzle that I've ever been in my life. There is going to be a little bit more of a wait time until we can finally see some action again, but this time I think the wait will be very worth it, um, because if I have indeed figured out the cycles slash the puzzle to a uh, like a decent margin of error, then holy shit, dude, that means that we're gonna almost to be at the place to trade like how Roaring Kitty trades. Um, and in all honesty, I think that that's been the goal of all of his memes this entire time. He's been trying to tell us how to do what he's doing without saying it outright. Um, and so that's why I've just spent so much time and effort trying to figure it out. So I apologize for how long it's going to take. Um, and it's going to require a lot of patience on our part. But at the end of the day, if I am right and this is the puzzle, then when it finally does come time for big boomy in 2027, we're going to be set for life. We're going to be set for life. But also, when 2027 comes around, I think that we're probably going to get the Bed Bath & Beyond payout, along with Teddy, along with warrants. I have no doubt that Ryan Cohen is going to take care of us. And so I don't think that we're screwed. I do think it is going to take forever. And yes, I know it's been 5 years, man, but it's what other stock do you know where you have any sort of timeline? I don't know of any other stock where I've been like, oh, yeah, I have some sort of expectation of a time horizon. At least with this one, there's like a very visible algorithm in place that we can see and trade. It hasn't gone our way a lot, but I think trying to figure out the puzzle has been worth it. But Ford, I mean, I feel you, man. It's been a long time, and I've definitely lost more money to this than gained. So, in terms of the frustration of the big thing uh, and the trial and error and the tribulation, dude, I fucking feel you, man. I feel you. But I have hope that we are closer than ever to figuring out this puzzle, and for me, that's enough to feel like to get more patience out of this. Nightmare Zarathos, what do you mean? Does time until bubble go pop count? What do you mean? What do you mean? Ford, I don't know what you mean either. Do you mean hour like OUR? I'll come back to you in a little bit. But yeah, I started playing covered calls right now, and in terms of GameStop, I'm just holding my shares and playing covered calls right now, because I am convinced we are not going to see some positive price action until like around the 26th of January ish. But that should only be a small pop still. Yeah, some kind of small pop here, and then back down. Yeah, Ford, I'm giving you a hug, buddy. It's been tough. It's definitely been tough, man. I feel it too. The only reason I have positivity is because I'm just naturally a positive person. But I've been going through it, man. This shit's fucking a long time. But I believe in my heart of hearts that all of this is going to be worth it, and that we will be paid. And I hope I'm not just being delusional about this. Um, that's why, again, give me some prayers, everybody. If you want to give me anything, give me some prayers. And I'm praying for all of us as well. Yeah. Okay, so just curious how the potential of the AI bubble popping factors into all of this. I don't think the AI bubble is going to pop soon. I think that all of that is going to coincide with the GameStop popping up. So 2027 is going to be, in my opinion, when the crash finally happens for the stock market. I think for this year we're still going to continue to go up into the Ponzi scheme. I've been saying this since last year. The Ponzi scheme is going to keep on getting Ponzier. Um, yeah, because I don't think that they're. Also, keep in mind, since Trump is in office, I don't think he wants the stock market to crash until um, either he has until he is basically guaranteed that the next president goes his way, whether that be he gets a third term, which I don't know how he would do that. But if there's anybody who can come up with a loophole to completely change the rules, I think it would be him. Um, Definitely, I normally would say for better or worse, but I definitely think it would be for worse, personally. Um, yeah, so just keep an eye out for that. I think for this year, stock market is gonna continue go up. There might be some pullbacks here and there, but they will be short lived, and we will continue to see another all time high sometime this year. Ford, I agree. It has been really shitty. It has been really shitty, in terms of like us getting what we want. We have definitely, as investors, been screwed. But I do not blame Ryan Cohen in the slightest. This is purely because of BlackRock's algorithm. I'm convinced that we are just caught in whatever game has been in play since before we got in here. This thing this thing goes back all the way to 2002 and before. This whole thing is algorithmic. This whole thing is BlackRock. And then this is an anomaly. Which at some point I would love to get into the specifics of how I think this happened. But in order to fully understand this, I would like to hear what Michael Burry has said or is going to say in his GME Part 2. And I would also like to see what the rest of the fractal looks like. So in order to go and fully understand this, it'll probably be a post-MOAS analysis that I do, which is likely years away. Um, yeah. If AI bubble pops, we probably drop too. Yeah, I agree with that. Whatever happens in the market, usually we will follow that more or less, especially for like sector rotations and stuff like that. Um, Probably only to cash floor. I'm not entirely convinced that we have the floor at whatever our cash is, because we have been under it. Um, and I think we were under it here. And I think here is even under it. I forget what price the cash floor is at, uh, but I definitely think that we can go under. Um, yeah, because again, Ryan Cohen bought at 21 something, and then his award award strike price is going to be 2066. So I'm not thinking that that's the floor. I'm thinking it's just close. And especially when we're talking about like $200 plus stock price, at the end of this like whole game, yeah, I think that a couple of dollars is going to be negligible when in the grand scheme of things. We talked about the poison pill. Should go into that. Oh yeah, housekeeping. I think those will probably be the last part of the stream. Um, but basically, I had requested that Ryan Cohen give us some sort of like physical keepsake. And then people were answering on there, oh, that's what the warrants were for. That's what the stock price is. Just random stuff. And I'm like, I want a physical thing. I'm a collector. I want to hold a little trinket or a little pin or a little like something in my hands that I can like put on the wall or something like that. So Ryan Cohen, if you're watching this, Hook us up, please. I would love us to get something for being long-term shareholders. And this is just some gimme, gimme, gimme beams. I know I'm greedy. I know, I know. But that would be so cool, Ryan, if you can hook us up with something just to say thank you. I mean, you've already done a lot of things to say thank you, but I would love something physical. Even if it's like a certificate that says best shareholders in the world, just anything that's physical. Physical. Especially as GameStop and the whole like physical versus digital, you know what we want. Give it to us. But I think for the most part that was the stream. Oh wait, we should probably get into the more of the awards. Yeah, 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 yeah. BB, how you doing? Um, so computer share doesn't issue them because I don't think that they can. I think they took that away at some point. But I have a physical share that was printed from, I think the website's called giveashare.com or something like that. Um, and I received it in the mail. You pay a big premium for it. Like at the time, the stock price was like 20 something. And for the whole thing, I paid like 80 something bucks. So it was very expensive. But for having a physical keepsake of the thing, yeah, I think personally it was worth it. But then for the actual share part of it, they just send you a computer share, like over on your account. So yeah, I don't know if they're gonna issue anything like that, but a trinket, I would love a trinket. Just like I don't know, some that cost like three, $3, $5 even. Like if you made them en masse as well, man, that would be so fucking cool. Um, just something that says GameStop on it, and it's like, yo, because I remember when the NFTs came out, there's a really actually let me pull that. Yeah, this thing. Somebody made an Etsy thing of it, but I think this something like this would be really fucking cool to have. Ryan, hook us up, brother. Hook us up. But yeah, let's go into. We'll end on the Cone Award package, cause man, oh man, when I made my analysis on what this meant, I was basically comparing it to the last time he gave us ice cream, and then uh, a couple weeks later, we got the news about the chairman, Ryan Cohen becoming chairman. And so I was thinking that we would get something along the same lines. And lo and behold, a couple weeks later, we learned about the award. Um, so for the people who say that tinfoil doesn't work, motherfucker, it just did. And also in my next stream, I have a little spot that talks about the different receipts for the times that oh no, that's not that. Oops. Uh what is that one? No, no, no. It's this one. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere. um but I have receipts for every time that tinfoil has come through. It doesn't always come through, but I don't think it's because the tinfoil is like wrong. I think our interpretation of the tinfoil is just wrong. So I do think personally that there are definitely messages being put out by Ryan Cohen and Keith Gill in order to help us along this journey. But they can't say things outright. And I've gone into analysis in previous videos, so you guys can check that out somewhere. Um, but basically, I guess this is just the important part. Well, Yeah, this is the important part right here. This is from, I think, Green Candle Eval or something like that. I forget his name on Superstonk. But he did the calculations and found out what the approximate share prices would be. And that's assuming full conversion of the warrants and the convertible bonds. And he also says it's worth noting that the share price should be higher after reading tranche 1 than is depicted on the table. That's because many of the warrants and bonds won't convert at that share price. So the shares outstanding will be less. But from tranche 2 onwards should be pretty accurate since most of them will be converted by the time we hit that share price. It's a very, very big possibility, yeah. Yeah, because remember, 4380, that would definitely be within the range of this next big spike that we'll see whenever it does happen. And for those of you who are joining us now, I forget where in the stream I went over this, but more or less, this is what the bigger algo will look like before it finally goes boomy. It'll just dial in on itself, just wedge itself in until finally it'll get to a point where it just poof, needs to explode. Yeah. So these prices are probably the important parts that we need to pay attention to right now. Yeah. But other than that, I think smarter people will be able to talk about this stuff because me personally, I don't pay attention too much to like earnings reports and shit like that. Not to say that it's not important, but it's just more so what we have seen historically is that the price action of this stock, it depends mostly just on where we are in the algorithmic sequence and then whether or not people are buying. Like big buys where it actually like makes the news. Those are the catalysts that we need to pay attention to. Everything else is just more or less noise, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, this stuff, it will be important, but I guess other people who are spending more time in it and who are more expert, have a better expertise on it, will be able to speak to it more. But this was also something that Larry Cheng posted. Going from zero, going from your first million to 100 million in revenue is substantially harder than going from 1 billion to 2 billion in revenue, not even close to being the same level of difficulty. He posted this back in November of last year, so a couple months ago, or really a couple of weeks ago if you really think about it. And then he posted it again on his LinkedIn with this image just yesterday. So in my opinion, this is saying that once Ryan Cohn finally gets awarded his, he just told us MOAS. Larry Chang just told us how MOAS is going to happen. Larry, oh my God. Yo, I hope I'm right. Did Larry Chang just tell us when MOAS is? So if my interpretation is correct, at 100 million revenue, oh wait, because that's not the same as market cap. Okay, I'm getting my numbers mixed up. Well, still. Because the revenue goes into the equation of the EBITDA and the, where are the tranches? Yeah, well, all we need is 10 billion for the EBITDA. So that'll be really interesting. So I guess what he's saying more so is that when the price is going to start going parabolic. Yeah. Maybe I jumped the gun on Larry Chang telling us when MOAS is. Yeah, okay, that was probably a misinterpretation. Forgive me. Tinfoil. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's pull up. Larry said this. Uh, Silky, how you doing? What's up, butt dog? What's butt dog? How you doing, my man? Gonzalo. I felt the same way about selling covered calls and missing a possible run. That's the thing, though, is that most of the time we're not going to be in run mode. Most of the time we're either going to be flat or going down. So that's when cover calls work in our favor. But you also don't have to just sell cover calls. You can also sell a cover call and then have a regular call at the same time. But me personally, I've been really, really trying to key in on when these price spikes happen. And I think there's definitely some sort of cycle or algorithmic sequence with it. And so that's why I'm comfortable. Like, if there is a run over these next couple of weeks, I'm comfortable missing it because I'm pretty confident that it's not going to be as big as we think it is. Um, yeah, I mean, there's a whole multitude of reasons and whatnot. Um, but I don't think that we're going to get price action again until the Ryan Cohen meeting, where we would decide on his award, because basically the timeline. Let's put this out. So March/April will be earnings and then probably the vote. I think it's probably, I don't know how likely it is that they're going to have the vote before earnings. Um, yeah, I don't know how they would time that. But basically, this coincides with my March/April bottom. New York City, man. With my March/April theory that we're going to bottom around then. Going back to, yeah, going back to this chart right here. So basically, we hit the bottom March/April, and then we award package gets approved because all of us are going to be dick riding RC, and everybody's going to be like, yeah, of course, yeah, aligned with shareholders, yeah. Um, Award package gets approved, and then RC. So depending on if we've already hit the requirements for tranche one or not, probably by then we won't, because the share price probably won't be $29.95. But on case it is, but basically somewhere around the bottom is when, actually, let me think about this. Okay, so if I'm correct in my analysis of this, the award, and this is assuming that everything goes according, like, smoothly, and there's like no like legal injunction that some fucking asshole decides to sue RC to say, oh, this is, you can't do that, because that's what happened with Elon Musk and Tesla back in, I don't know, a couple years ago with one of his packages, where he got sued, and they had to stop the thing and then revote on it, and then it ended up getting approved by the shareholders anyway. Um, but I don't know how much time passed in between him getting awarded it at first and then finally getting the stuff that he was deserving. So basically, award package gets approved, price hits bottom in April/May, and then the price spikes in May of 2026, and then tranche ones gets awarded, and then RC gets options for 10% of package, which would be, if I'm correct, about 17 million shares. And then whenever he decides to exercise them for 17 million shares, price will explode. But it won't be a permanent explosion. It'll be like this. It'll be like this movement, and then it'll go back down. So that's what I'm thinking will happen for the timeline of tranche one. And so my guess is this first sequence will occur by, let's say, November 2026, just to be on the safe side, because I'm pretty sure that all this is going to happen to coincide with when the warrants get expired on October 30th. Yeah. And so this whole first sequence will occur by November of this year. If I'm correct, that's my understanding of how these next couple of months are going to go in terms of the this package. But I mean, if I'm correct, then the price explodes, and then he gets like, and then we get that pump to here. Then that would mean that tranche 2 and 3 might happen very quickly after that. The only thing that he'll have to worry about is the EBITDA stuff, because if he hasn't gotten enough cumulative EBITDA by, I want to say, the September earnings, then he might not be able to fully get tranche 3. But there's a good chance that he will get tranche through whenever the price hits $43.80. Oh, I forgot to make this bigger for you guys so you can see. My bad. That should be better. Silky, me too, man. Waiting for Bobby. Actually, let me pull up a meme for you guys. I feel like Bobby's always funny. Do I have any good Bobby memes right now? Let's see. Oh, this one's also funny. I don't know who's played Dark Souls. I haven't, but yeah, it's gamer memes, baby. Oh man, I hope this doesn't get my YouTube taken down. Oh man, because they keep on doing that every time I play memes and shit. Um, yeah, so I hope they doesn't get taken down temporarily again, and I have to fucking edit them out and put it back up. It's fucking annoying. Um, Evan, when it comes to the warrants, I'm scared to trade them because I don't fully understand the tax implications with them. I think they trade the same way that stocks do, like equities do. But because I'm not completely sure, I have stayed away from trying to trade them. I also don't know what the cost basis date is. Um, and so I'm trying to just hold on to them. And with whenever, like, I want to say, my goal would be to make enough money to exercise them. I would make that money in in the May run up, and then hopefully exercise them in September, like August or September of this year. That's my plan. My goal is to exercise them all, um, and then add to the pump that will happen in what I assume will be October. Yeah. Uh, Ford, the warrants are not, or they're definitely they're worth something. Yeah, it depends on what your own trading strategy is. Everybody's gonna have their own different take on what they want to do. But for me, I'm planning on exercising them. I don't plan to trade them. But we'll see, we'll see. Because if there's a huge run up in May, then I might trade them then too. Um, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Because the thing that's really tasty about them is the date. Because I'm not sure if if the cost basis for the shares that you get when you exercise them, I'm not sure if the date would be the date that you exercise them, or if it's the date that is the like the original shares that you bought to get the warrants in the first place. Um, because I mean, that would be super advantageous if those shares just became long-term investments from the day that you exercise them. That'd be awesome. Because I don't know that, I don't know how to trade them correctly yet. So if somebody has exercised any of them and they can tell me for sure what the date of the cost basis on those new shares are, please let me know. That would be very, very helpful information for us to figure out. Navy Dean, yo, what up, what up, what up? How you doing, my man? Thank you for joining us pretty late in the game, so I don't know how much more of the stream is, but hey, better late than never, man. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I think that I don't know what else more there is to say. This timeline of what I think will happen is the important one. Yeah. More or less, this is what I see happening for these next couple of months in terms of the awards package. And then in terms of price, I'm still, yeah, between 2050 or between 1950 and 2150. For the most part, I think we're going to be trapped in that box. Be trapped in the box. Yeah. Even right now, we're trapped in the box. We're back to the box. Do you guys have any other questions before I peace out? Uh, as always, I thank you guys for joining me. I think there's only 12 people on the stream right now, so you guys rock. Love you all. And let me just check the chats, the various chats, real quick. See if there's anything I missed. Also, if you guys haven't been paying attention to Kevin Gill's movie reviews on Instagram, I don't know if they're tinfoil to be honest with you, but I just like his take on movies because it also gives us a key insight to how uh, his relationship with his brother as well, and just like how as a family they view movies and stuff like that. I think is I mean they are two apples falling from the same tree, so they've got to be very similar. So I think I've been paying attention and watching his reviews. Definitely with taking everything he says with a grain of salt, because I don't think he's giving us like dates or anything like that. Um, but I want to see how his brain thinks and works. Yeah. But if nobody has any other questions, once again, thank you for joining. Uh, Thank you for letting me know to check the 13 Ds, um, so that we could get this information out. Because this was more information about the award, so that was good info. And let me just check some notifications, see if any of y'all got messages in there. All right, I think that's pretty much everything. Anyway, thank you guys for joining, and I'll see you in a couple months. Love you all.